Alrighty, today we are going to try to talk about some four-link suspension on a gem car. Again, as I've reiterated in my other videos that I've done, I don't know what I'm doing. So don't just take what I say as gold. Just simply take parts of it, apply them to whatever you're doing, and go from there. So this is, I can't remember the exact name of them. They're basically links for the end of a four-link suspension. You can get the other type, I'll think of the name of them here in a second. Or you can get these type and they have a little rubber bushing in them, so it kind of provides you with a little more flexibility rather than a hard ride. The ends, I got 3/4 inch, so the threads are 3/4 inch, and then 1 inch ends. So you want to buy, the tubing is called DOM. You can go with chromoly, but DOM is supposedly well over what we would need for something like a gem car. And I think it's fairly reasonably priced. And obviously you don't need a whole ton of it. So not a whole bunch. So what I'm doing is just taking these things. I'm just gonna put one end, and what Brad taught me, I'm just gonna mock it up, because then I can kind of play around with my angles and see where it goes. Because it may help me change something well before it becomes a much bigger pain in the butt. So that's how I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna use a 48-inch golf cart axle, so I'm just gonna use this as my axle. These is my four-link, and try to figure out how we can make this work. And I think it's much easier than you do on a car, because of the car you have the mechanical disadvantage of having the drive shaft coming to the pig, and on a golf cart the motor is on the rear end, so it makes it much easier because you don't have to worry about the torque angle causing issues with how the drive shaft runs. So I mean, it's really just how, I guess, the up and down motion kind of stays level without changing the angle too much and causing any kind of an issue. I don't even know what issue it would cause by going forward too much or reverse too much, but we're gonna play around with it, see what we can find out. All right, laugh all you want. I do not care. But one thing I can tell you is that I'm liking what I'm coming up with a bunch of duct tape and plastic. So obviously the goal is to figure out if there's binding. Obviously there's going to be some binding from the tape, but it allows it to have this, little bit of that, the up and down motion that I need, and based on where you put your tabs on the rear end, the only sideways motion that I'm getting here is simply because I'm using duct tape and not actual things, but that is going to be solid as hell. So I'm going to give you a little view from the side here in a sec, and just kind of gives you a little way to mock stuff up. The one thing I would say is don't use the actual ends because they're crazy heavy. Just use some different size pipe and figure out how to manipulate that and do whatever you need to do to make some risers and whatnot, because in the end, they're just too heavy for what I'm trying to mock this up, because that's where all my issues are coming from. But I think it's going to be cool. I'm excited. I love to play around and try new things. All right, so here is your side view. Like I said, everything's all screwed up like this. You need to be a little more like that and up a little bit. And I don't know where the motor's gonna be when I get the rear end. I think it's gonna be centered. So it depends on my angle back here, if that's gonna be an issue here. I really don't know, but in the end, I like it. So here's what we got. So kind of level with the front axle, maybe-ish. Then we got travel up, travel down, little rock crawling, whatever action you're looking for. I think that it's gonna work out. All built in your garage. You gotta play around to figure out if you can do something. If you can't, then you don't. If you can, it may turn out cool, but we won't know until I finish it up. So we'll keep following along and watch what I do. You may like it, you may not. Either way, I'm doing it.